Hello everyone and welcome back. This is going to be one of two videos, and in this one I'm going to be sharing the final results and some thoughts about the Master Grade Kämpfer. And as you know, the Master Grade Kämpfer is an older model. It has around almost 20 years old, and you can feel that when you're assembling it. There's a lot of seam lines, weird things with articulations, especially the screws that you have to put on that they're never going to come up well, and some details that are not the best. But overall, as you can see, this design of this model really makes it up for it. So if you're thinking about completing your collection with the new Master Grade Alex, this is a really good model to work on. So I want to share like some of the results that I got from the techniques that I'm using, and what a little bit of work can get to the model. Starting with a small acknowledgement, and is that I am not a professional modeler, so I'm more of experience with illustration, and I applied the techniques and things that I know about that into something that I really like, that is building up Gundam models. Therefore, I don't use airbrush, I don't use a lot of the stuff. I'm more experimental, I try different things. And if you have seen my channel, maybe you have seen one of the techniques that I explain in the channels, that is basically using Crayola markers. And this is one of the examples. There's actually one video that is almost a year ago when I started like working this small by, little by little in this project. And so if you want to see the process, you can check that out. Or if you want to see the step-by-step of this model, I have been creating this, every time that I do a little bit of work, I tape a little bit. So that's going to be something else that you can look forward into my channel. So as I mentioned before, I use for this ones the Crayola markers, metallic ones. They're very basic, easy to get. You can buy them online, get them in a store. Every art and supply thing, you will have it. And if not, there's different markers in different markets. So for example, in Europe, you can get Pelican markers, and they work as well. But it's probably not complicated to find something like that. So let me explain a little bit what I get from this model. So let me just start with the part of a process that I enjoy the most, that is working with the mono eye. And as you can see in here, I was able to get a LED light inside the helmet and into the mono eye, and it looks pretty cool. And I know that because of the lights that I'm using, you're not able to see it. So let me just dim the light for a second, and it's going to be a little bit dark and then a little bit brighter. So as you can see now, the light is pretty cool. The effect, the color, the magenta color is pretty nice. I'm gonna go back to my light, so you're gonna shine a little bit. So it's gonna be something that if you're displaying on a regular shelf, is gonna look pretty cool. And for those of you who are not familiar with the old models, you will know that this one's actually doesn't come with a space for the Bandai unit light. So in this case, I had to do something that for me is the first time that is actually modifying or hacking the model itself. In this case, because of the size of the chest of the Kämpfer, I was able to set up a battery inside the model and set up some cables and stuff for the LED light unit that actually goes, if you see on the back of a helmet, let me just get closer. If you see on the back of a helmet, you will see a small, there you go, kind of like hair, sort of, let me just push this a little bit up, cable, that it doesn't affect at all the display process, because it's so thin, it's almost like a hair, and it goes through the helmet into the head. I did some modifying inside the head, and I was able to get the drill a hole in the head and get the unit inside, the LED unit inside. So that was probably the best for me in the whole process. And this is new for me. I'm usually into like painting and weathering and stuff like that, doing some panel lining and things. But for this case in particular, doing that was something that I really wanted to do, and I was really happy with the results. So again, if you want to see the step-by-step, you can go search on my channel. If it's not up there yet, it's going to be pretty soon. It's going to be like step by step the process of hacking, painting, and everything of this model. The second thing that I want to share with you, it's something that is already probably common for you if you have seen some of my videos, is the results with the technique that I've been using on the inner frame, that is using the Crayola markers with whatever the pieces are that are like gray or metal. And if you can see in there, the results I think are pretty cool. And in this case, for example, with the bazookas, I used the black color first, and then the lacquer, and then some black brush and some copper color. So if you can see there, there's a little bit of detail in copper color, green, and silver. And I think it looks pretty nice. Everything that it has, like the black and gray and metal, it's done with that technique. And even the missiles in here that he uses are done with the same technique. I actually thought about buying a spray can, but I didn't. I ended up like trying with the green, metallic green marker. And the only thing that is different is that in the tip of the missile, I used a chrome marker and the Gundam markers, the metallic ones. And it gives a quite nice effect in there. For the rest of the model, I did something that, again, it's new for me. I started using a spray can. And let me just set up my camera so it's gonna move a little bit, I'm sorry. But usually I don't use spray cans. I haven't used airbrush, and this is the first time that I use something for the outer shell or the armor of the Gundam. And it's I did a couple of tries with different pieces of the runners, and I ended up just getting this Blue Testers metallic paint, and I sprayed on the model. I didn't do any priming, and I applied on top of a color that comes with the plastic, and it was mostly okay. A couple of little things happened, but it's mostly okay. The only thing that I did different is that I erased some of the lines that are after the mold, the panel line, not the panel lines, the seam lines that are remaining from the molding, because it's actually, this is two pieces, and there's another one here, and this part that is actually comes in two pieces that is not supposed to. And did some sanding, gluing and sanding, and painting. The other part that I did some gluing, let me get this off. The other part that I did some gluing and sanding, it's on the bazookas, because they actually come in two pieces, very noticeable. You can see in here, I left some seam lines in there. I didn't want to like over sand in there. But the result, I think, overall of the spray can, it's pretty cool. You get this feeling on the shell, on the armor, that is almost like a brand new car, this metallic thing with a little bit of like dusty metallic thing, and it's pretty cool. I did some detailing with the Gundam marker, and I used gold and red to create that a little bit of effect, and a little bit of black for a panel lining. I left some of the areas, I used that for basically every thruster, but for the areas that I thought in here, and I actually did some chrome in here in the borders, as you see. The only ones that I did something different is with these ones that I think are more like vents than thrusters, and I did left some of the yellow showing up, that and in there, because I think that this one looks pretty cool with the yellow more than the gold. I did the same with the thrusters in the back. So a little bit of a gold and red and chrome and yellow on this one on here. I painted the bottom of the feet also a little bit of gold and red. And that was basically it for the colors. I'm gonna do a quick review on the model itself. So if you're thinking about getting one, you get some information out of it. It comes with a sticker sheet. Basically everything that you see in here, the logos and some detailing on the legs and on the guns are basically stickers. So you will get some of that, a little bit of like different texture with some of them. I tried to cut some of them as close as I could to the border so I don't get the linings there, right? But you will get that a little bit, right? And then it comes with a dry transfer. And the only place that I use the dry transfer is in here. So you actually get a lot more stuff on that dry transfer sheet. So if you want to use it in a different model, you get a lot of logos of Xeon and stuff that you can use on your models. It comes with a lot of guns, and one of the things that is pretty cool about this model is that basically every gun can be set up in place. So the bazookas, they're articulated, you can pull them off and put it in the hands, but they can be set up and display with the model. Comes with 2 shotguns that I also painted with the Crayola markers, and some detailing with Sharpies and Gundam markers and stuff. The shotguns actually come with something interesting, because you have this one with the support for the shoulder, and you have another one that you're supposed to assemble without it. But you can assemble both with the support or not, because it comes with enough pieces for that. But in the instructions, actually this one is supposed to be assembled without, so you can put it here on this support that goes on the back. For this one, it's probably one of the parts that I haven't set up or arranged, and let me just show you why. And it's because in here, underneath this piece, on this little hole underneath, I set up the switch for the light. So because it doesn't show up that much, I just kept it there, and I don't put it on place. It also comes with 2 missiles that you can assemble also in 2 different ways. I use this one because this one is the best one for show up and display. And it comes with a couple of beam sabers with a jello effect. That something happened with this one, is that in particular this one broke in the tip. So if you see here, I don't know if you can see, it actually broke. It just crashed and crumbled. So I had to fix it. I had to do a little bit of maybe painting later on that one. And with the other effect that comes with it, I don't know why, but I lost it. I don't know if I drop it in the garbage can or something. I'm really usually very careful, but I haven't been able to find it. I think that I can actually make one with the remaining part of the runner, and I've been experimenting, and I'm gonna just put this a little bit aside and show you what I've been experimenting on. I did this little hack with my RX78 DS FSD, and I use some heat and some pulling and pushing and organizing, and I was able to get this a little bit of a shot effect on the model. So I'm actually thinking about creating that effect, and maybe I'll try doing something more creative of the effect, probably blazing or something that is going to be different. So that's going to be a next project after I finish this one completely. The other thing that it comes with, it's the mine chain that it comes with, that it uses in the anime. And with this one, this is the only piece that I haven't painted, and I'm just I'm just letting it rest a little bit. I just finished this one, and I was excited to share, so that's going to be something for the future. And it comes with 2 pilots, one that sits inside if you pull this one down, you see there one of the pilots sitting inside the cockpit. Let's close it here. And with the other one, I also did a little bit of hacking or changing, bashing, and this cool pose of the pilot with the gun pointing. I decided I don't want to have the, because it comes with the pilot with straight hands and no base. So I just added a base from the runners that I cut from the runners, and I added a little bit of a idea of a pistol in the hand pointing that gun. That's basically what it comes with the model. Again, this model, it's old, and if you see some of the reviews, you'll probably hear that it doesn't come with a lot of articulation. It is true. I mean, if you check, you have just a little bit of articulation in the head, no a lot of effect. It can turn, rotate, but it's not a lot. And it comes with articulation on the shoulder pads that are separated, and with the hands, it actually doesn't go really far up, and it was messing with my connection, and it actually doesn't articulate much. This one with the elbows, they has a double joint. It's not very visible, but if you push a little bit harder, you see how it double bends there. So you get a little bit more of an articulation in there. And this is something also that I wanted to share with you, is that when I was assembling, I had issues because of layers of coat and painting. So I ended up getting something online that is this, and I applied on the elbows is the white lithium gray grease, and it worked wonderfully. I was able to move it freely, as you can see, and it helped. Usually with Bandai models, you don't have to like lose the articulations, but with this one I had to. So it does the double joint and the elbow, and hands doesn't have a lot of articulation, as you see, are just a ball joint, so you can just bend a little bit down and up. And it comes with 2 pairs of hands. This one that is the 3-finger separated for the trigger, and then one that is an open hand for expression. And this is probably one of the worst part of a full model, is that even though that there's a lot of articulation on the legs moving back and forth, the knees are really not a lot. They cannot give a lot of range, basically because of this, the whole thruster. Even though there's a double joint in here, you cannot bend it much more than that. And the feet has, you know, a lot going through the back, maybe, or not, you know, just some, and some going in the front, but basically side to side are just like really little because of the armor of the Kämpfer. So overall, and after like all the details that you get from an old Master Grade from Bandai, and issues that this model in particular might have, if you ask me, would you recommend this as something that you want to buy and work on? I would say definitely. I mean, the design of a model makes it for all the details that you have to work through, and I don't know if there's going to be a 2.0 Kämpfer. It might, but at this point, this is probably the best that you can get on that sense. And if you compare it with models like the Sazabi or like new models, for sure, this is lacking on a lot of stuff. But overall, and with the detailing and painting, I think that this model looks pretty cool, and it's something that is going to look amazing on any shelf. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got a quick view, and I hope you enjoy and like the techniques that I'm currently using and the results that I'm getting with my Gundam. If you want to share or comment or say something about it, please, comment on this video. Keep checking to see when a new video is coming, and there's going to be new material coming from the old Alex that I'm actually working right now on, and like setting new ways of like bashing and hacking and setting lights and stuff. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to see you soon here in YouTube. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this video and to the channel, and have a very nice day. Bye bye.